All right, so I just wanted to hop on here real quick. This Friday, I got a long day ahead of me, so I wanted to put a video out and hit on a few pointers. I had all three vehicles come back in within the last hour. All three are going back out tomorrow. As you can see, I am charging the GPS trackers. So, all of them got to be cleaned and sanitized and whatnot, the things you have to do in between customers. But the first thing I'm going to talk about, something that I want to help you with, the avoid that I did so you don't have to lose money like me. I have a lockbox for each one of my vehicles, and this is how the lockbox looks. For when I want to run the vehicles remote, if I'm not going to be here when they pick up or return or I'm on vacation and whatnot. So I had all the codes because I changed the code after each use in my notepad on my iPhone. And I was trying to copy paste into something else and I deleted it. I was able to figure out the codes for two of them, but this last one I could not figure out the code for. No matter what I called the company, they saying then they can do, that's part of the safety protocol of nobody getting in the box. So that's a $60 expense I'm gonna have to eat. I'm gonna keep trying codes in the meantime though. Hopefully I can figure it out, but make sure that you got those codes down in 2-3 places. Another thing I want to hit on is very important in this business. Do not fall in love with these vehicles. I learned that before I got into it through my research and whatnot, but it is so true. Because people are not going to take care of those vehicles like you take care of them. They're going to come back with dings and dents and whatnot. And, there's ways to address that, but they're not going to come back in the condition that you send them out. Now, sometimes you're going to have a good customer that take care of the vehicle, even clean it before bringing it back, but that's rare. The next one is I have a exit strategy for each one of my vehicles. And what I mean by exit strategy is I haven't pinpointed exactly when I'm going to do it, but maybe at such and such miles or every 2 years is, to sell the vehicle and purchase another vehicle. That way you keep your fleet fresh, as well as you can, if it works out well, sell a vehicle and purchase 2 other vehicles, and because you want to scale and grow your fleet. But you got to have an exit strategy for each vehicle because, as we know, vehicles depreciate, especially with them putting the miles on them for each rentals, the stop and goes, the road trips, and whatnot. Another thing is, which apply to principles across any business or company, business is never personal. A lot of times, like I give 250 miles a day for my rentals. And if they exceed those 250 miles, they have to pay, a certain amount of cent per mile. And a lot of people, feel conflicted about whether they should charge it or not because the customer was nice. But, the customer knew this beforehand, as well as you got to think about depreciation of your asset. You're losing money if you don't charge for those additional miles, as well as they have a cleaning fee. Now, the cleaning fee only applies if a vehicle is brought back in dismay. You mean like something filthy or out of the scope of a normal dirt on the rug, whatnot, which takes some professional cleaning or some hard cleaning. It's a $250 charge to the customer for that. If a customer neglects your vehicle and mess it up, don't feel guilty about getting that $250 fee. Most of that's going to take you to get it back clean anyway. Tolls. Matter of fact, I just got one today. Customers go to Florida a lot because I'm in Georgia, and they won't pay for those tolls. Then I get the ticket in the mail. So, it's a way you can go back in and charge it for that customer and get them Turo gives them a time frame to take care of voluntarily, and if they don't answer and take care of it, it gets charged to their card automatically. To make a long story short, we get reimbursed for it regardless, as long as it's submitted appropriately. As soon as you get it, you need to submit it. Don't hold on to it. Damages, of course, it depends on the amount of damage. You have to take real good pictures before and after the trip before you submit any damages. Know for sure, 100% sure. When I do my pre-trip photos, I do everything from front seat, back seat, console, center, ceiling inside of the vehicle. One that you gotta hit on is very important: tire tread. Gotta take a close-up picture of each tire. I do the side view mirrors. They'll show that both of the mirrors are intact. There's no damage. I do a picture of the engine, because people will steal your parts. I do a picture of the trunk, and I do a picture of the undercarriage of the vehicle. So if they mess up something underneath, I have my before pictures. But depending on the amount of damage, the scope of the damage, Turo has a way of doing estimate of what they think the repairs would cost. Now, here's a real big one. Smoking in the vehicle. I think the fee is like $250, but I want to say over half your customers gonna smoke marijuana in your vehicle. I can deal with the marijuana, but the cigarette is a stink that you can't get out. It smells terrible, and if somebody come along, they got some type of respiratory issues, they won't be able to drive the vehicle. So if somebody smokes cigarettes in the vehicle, you have to submit for damages. But it's real tricky when it comes to smoking in the vehicle. You got to be able to prove it. They got to leave some cigarette butts or some ashes. They got to leave something tangible for you to submit to Turo to prove that they smoke in the vehicle. So a lot of times they smoke in the vehicle, and then you can do about it because there's no way to prove it. But I didn't know so many people smoke marijuana, but I'm gonna say at least 70% of my trips, the car come back smelling like weed. I got a certain spray that I use that does the job really well. Now, the funny thing is, I don't think marijuana smells bad at all, so it don't bother me, but I'm thinking about the customers. I'm not the one that's gonna drive the vehicle. All right, so I'm gonna go into a few of the metrics of how I'm doing so far since last week, getting ready to end the year. So I'm gonna talk about the metrics a little bit. All right, so before I talk about the metrics, I want to talk about one more important thing that I almost forgot to talk about, and that's pricing. Pricing is real competitive in Turo. I mean, it's competitive to the point where you got people renting their vehicles out and not even turning a profit, because that's, it's like a ripple effect. Like if a vehicle is worth $55 a day, but you got somebody with the exact same vehicle across town renting it out for $40 a day, you'll find that your vehicle is sitting and they're renting out. So you have to match their price. You match their price and somebody match your price, and it's a ripple effect. And we're cannibalizing each other in the Turo business. So I just wanted to point this out because, I want to keep it real with you. I wanted to point this out, but that's something you got to factor in, especially if you're going to finance a vehicle for Turo, because you're going to have the monthly note, you're going to have the insurance, you're going to have tracking, you're going to have the miscellaneous stuff like tire blowouts. They have to get oil changed probably once every month and a half, probably brakes every 3 months. So you got to do your math and get the best deal you can get on these vehicles. I wish I could have got a better deals on mine. But, I've also kind of got some technique down. It's typically slow on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I usually drop my prices on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and let them go back up a little bit for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that seems to work good for me. Plus, I think I got a good location because it's convenient where I'm at for a lot of my customers. That's like, oh, you within 5-10 minutes of me. So I have a lot of repeat customers. But that's something you want to take into mind before you get into this. Now we're gonna go into the metrics. I'm one of them people that like to use spreadsheets to monitor my profitability and expenses and make sure that I'm hitting all points to be profitable, but not to be showing too much, but to kind of show you, give you an idea of how I track all my vehicles. And then at the bottom, I get my final numbers as how I did for the whole month. And I do it from month to month. And you also see another vehicle is on the way. Just trying to take my time and choose the right one, and make sure that I, apply what I've learned. All right, as you can see, I am at 48 trips thus far, and I have an all-star rating, which help bring in business. You take care of people, they're going to take care of you, and you get priority at times. As you can see, December continues to be extremely well. That's my best month so far. From what I've learned, I'm looking to maintain at that level December was at. So, I want to start 2023 off really, really strong. And then, as you can see, I got 3 vehicles back today, but all 3 are going back out tomorrow.